Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to Back to Basics. This is where we just talk about casual conversation, health, wellness journey, and anything else that it might turn into. But just trying to get back to basics on life in general. I think we get too complicated with things. We have so much stuff coming in at us from all different angles. And I think we've just oversimplified a lot of things. We just need to get back to basics and do the basic things to make us successful in all areas of life. So today with me, I have Tashina Almond. Tashina is 35 years old. She's a healthcare communications professional who works from home in our grand city of Louisville, Kentucky. She loves to play tennis. She loves her pups. She loves getting outside with her pups. But Tashina had a tennis injury or an injury that I think you probably felt most with tennis, I would assume. That kind of knocked her down a little bit. Tennis was Tashina's like outlet of sorts. It was her social communication. It was fun. It was physical. Like it was a lot of things to her. So losing that really was kind of like a knife to the gut for Tashina. So Tashina kind of, started to have a little bit of weight gain, a little depression, a little anxiety that came along with the lack of socialization, the physical activity, all that kind of stuff. And so you decided to make a change and you did my program initially, and now you were doing one-to-one coaching with me. But we have known each other for quite some time prior to her working with me before. We worked together at a tennis facility of sorts. I had a program there pre-COVID. So that's where we met. So we've known each other for quite some time. And Tashina is just a great, great person. I thought she would be great to bring on here because I think a lot of people can relate to your story, can relate to what's going on, especially now working from home, the post-COVID life that we're in, and just kind of the struggles that you're going through, but then the things that you found to help you be successful and get back to life and, enjoy all that kind of stuff. So, Tashina, if you want to just kind of give us a little bit about you, tell us, just in general, just like who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you were saying, I do work from home. It's something that I wanted for a really long time. I was in the office for probably about 8 years of my communications career. And then I decided with COVID, I just wanted to be at home and I wanted to be with my dog because she's the best coworker that you can have. So, with that came a lot of weight gain. It came a lot of weight gain. There came a lot of depression. And it was hard because you are very isolated, especially during the pandemic. And so as you were saying, I was doing your program, the Lift program, out of a local tennis club, and I loved it. It was the best thing ever. It was a great way to connect with other people, but then COVID hit. So then you had to pivot and change. And so I started working out at home on my own. And it just wasn't the same. And so ended up coming back to you. And, it was a great decision to make. Your program is one of the best things that's happened to me as far as health and wellness goes, because it's not just focused on, health, but it's also helped me mentally. I know when we've been working together, you've been helping me a lot with my confidence and maintaining my anxiety. And that's really helped me on my journey. So, I'm just thankful for you and thankful for your program. And as you're saying, I had a tennis injury. I really found my identity in tennis. Been playing tennis since middle school, played in college a little bit. And I felt like that's where that was who I was. Like everybody was like, oh, I know Tashina, she plays tennis. And when you lose that just piles on the anxiety and depression even more. So working with you, getting back into the gym has really helped me find myself. It's helped me find my confidence, my strength, and it's, just helped me. It's helped me become a stronger person. So, your program is, it's one of the only things I've done that's helped me.
Well,
so
good. I'm glad to hear that. This is really not about me tooting my program, guys. Fair, but I love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's great. But I want to hit on a couple of the things that you did talk about that I think some people can relate to. One, you lost tennis. You lost like part of your identity. It was like losing your arm a little bit. That was something that like you said, you've been playing it since middle school, and then just to have it taken away. How do you deal with that? And so what were some of your coping mechanisms? I guess some of the things that you did initially that you realized weren't healthy and that you needed to make a change?
Yeah, it is when you become so grounded in something and it becomes your identity, I think, and you lose that all of a sudden, it's almost like a death.
Yeah.
and you grieve that, and you don't really know what to do, and you just become very depressed. And so really for me, I just had to think about, like, what do I enjoy doing? Well, I love being active. That's something that I really enjoy. And so getting back into the gym, it was different, and it was something I had to adapt to, but it helped me because I almost treated it like a competition. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to see how much weight I can do and challenge myself. And so mentally it was challenging. It was giving me that outlet where, I could, just find something new and find, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like when you're in a relationship and it's something new and exciting and you're like, oh, this is really cool and I really love it. And so that's what the gym was for me. And now, like, I just can't get enough of it. That's something for me, like nutrition is a battle, but like the gym, I'm like, okay, at the end of my day, it's something I look forward to because I'm like, okay, how can I challenge myself today? Let's see like what my body is capable of. I don't see the gym as a way of punishing myself. I see it as a way of challenging myself and getting stronger. So trying something new, it was really exciting for me. And, it kind of helped that depression melt away a little bit, but also it just helped me with my anxiety too. It helped me burn off that stress. And at the end of the day, I was like, my mind felt free.
Good. I know people know exercise is good for us, right? They know it's a stress reliever, but I don't think people underestimate the feeling of lifting really heavy stuff and how that can change your confidence, how that changes your mental strength just as much as it's changing your physical strength. And there's a lot of research out there showing that. It's just people, I don't know, I just don't think enough people hear it or know it. We hear all the other stuff of go do all the cardio, eat low calorie, like when it comes to stuff versus approaching working out as an activity. Yes, it's making me better, but how can it really make me better? You know what I'm saying? Not just like strong or not just the aesthetics of it. Like, how is this really helping me? So I love that you said that.
Yeah.
I love that you said that.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. The other day I was in the gym and the guy beside of me was on one of the machines and I was doing the leg press, and I do the leg press barefoot because then I just feel like I can push a little heavier and like I just feel a little bit more grounded. And I was doing like 210 and he looked at me and I was like, phew. And he's like, well, you're doing it right when you're sitting there like that. And so he was really funny. It was, it's funny because so many people have come up to me, and I've built relationships in the gym too. Like it's a good way. Like I go at a time that's later to avoid the crowd, but you kind of see the same people. And so you build those friendships and, they look at me and they're like, you've gotten so much stronger and you look great and just keep up the good work. And just having that companionship and just building those friendships, it's really awesome. Like it's different. It's taken me out of my comfort zone. And I just, it's changed me for the better.
I love it. All right, let's talk a little bit about the mental part of nutrition and weight loss, because anybody can get out there and like any program, and this, can teach you how to lose weight, right? But not much or many of them that I know of get in there and actually work on the mental aspects of it, because there's always a mental component to why we either overeat, we binge, we put on the weight, whatever it may be. There are underlying issues. And if you don't address those habits, those thought patterns, those behaviors, nothing. You can lose the weight, but you're going to put it back on because you're not fixing the root cause of why we're gaining the weight, right? So what are some things that you've done to help start changing some of your previous habits into better habits, start changing some of those thought patterns maybe that you had that, I'll just say one of the things that we've talked about is social media, because I think this is a very common one, is people get on social media and then it's that comparison factor, right? They get on there and they compare. And we all know it, that we're seeing everybody else's highlight reel, but we still let it get to us, right? We still let it get to us and bother us. So what are some things that you have done to change, like when you feel yourself going down into that hole, or you feel yourself maybe anxiety rising one day? What are some of the habits or things that you can share that have helped you start to work on curbing those?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm really bad, like social media. So with my role in healthcare communications, I'm a big part of that is being on social media and managing leader social media. And so you're on it a lot. I mean, because it's a part of your job and you're looking for trends and you're looking for what works. And, you know, I find myself like, especially on the weekends where I'll just be scrolling Instagram, you know, Facebook. And, you know, you're just like, stop, like your mind, this alarm's going off in your mind. So like when I find myself doing that, I try to either just set my phone aside, like either put it in my room on the charger and just be like, just go for a walk, go do something, because you got to do something, like you're getting too absorbed. But something that I've been doing recently that I found, because I'm a creative person. And so I used to be really big into art and things. And so I'll try to find something new, like I'll do watercolor painting, or I'll do a collage, or I'll do something like that where, you know, you're able to just relax and, you know, you're not worrying about what other people are doing, what their life, what's going on. So doing something like that, going for a walk with my dog, you know, playing with my dog in the house is good, but also like reading, like trying to find self-help books, things like that. You know, one of the things I get in my head a lot. So there's a book that I'm reading right now. I think the author's name is Jenny Allen. It's called Get Out of Your Head. And it's a really good book. And she's kind of like, she's a Christian kind of influencer, but it's just really good. It teaches you ways to just get out of your head, not compare yourself, because, you know, I am single. I live by myself, and like, it's hard to see your friends and things like that living like their best life. But we also have to realize, like, you know, it's a highlight reel. Yeah. We're not seeing their actual life. And while it may look like a pretty, you know, storybook picture on the outside, maybe like on the inside, we don't really know what's going on. And so really thinking about those things and, you know, saying like, okay, this may not be their reality. Right. Just, you know, you just kind of have to, I just have been trying to distance myself a little bit more. Hopefully I explained that right. But yeah, I mean, there's other ways. You just have to be present in the moment. Don't like, you know, get so bogged down in social media, because it's not just social media that I compare myself to. I compare myself to, you know, the person sitting next to me at the gym, and I'm like, I wish I looked like them. And, you know, you can't be that way. You can't get in that mindset. You have to say, you know, I've been really blessed with what I have, you know, and that's just, you know, you've got to be thankful. I think practicing gratitude, journaling is great. Practicing gratitude, you know, prayer, all those things are great ways to just refocus yourself and, you know, really appreciate what you have.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm reading a book right now called Atomic Habits, which is phenomenal. And I think anybody should read this book, no matter what you're going through. It can help you improve. It's a super easy read. And the thing that he did, so social media was affecting his productivity. And so what he would have his assistant do is every Monday change the passwords on his social media accounts so that he couldn't access it. He couldn't have it back till Friday at the end of the work week, so that it didn't affect his week. And what he found was, yes, he was more productive at work, but his mind space grew and his confidence and all that kind of stuff grew, because there's none of this garbage of sorts around him all week, even in his off times. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. You know, just take it away. Because I mean, I do. We all do. You know, we get in these comparisons, and it's something I actually talked to my therapist about. Like in a business, I feel like I should be further along than I am, and I compare myself to all these other businesses and blah, 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 or whatever it may be. And, you know, we talk about it, and it's just like, that's not a healthy state to be in, because you don't know you're not there, but where you are is a good spot. And if you don't enjoy where you are, you're going to miss a whole bunch of stuff, you know? And then if you need to, like, she says something like, she lives in a very affluent area, and she's like, and I look around and I see all these people, and she goes, and I just like to think they're all in debt, you know? And it's just like, yeah, they've got all this stuff, but how much debt are they in? I have no debt, and I live this simple life, you know? So it's just Just,
Yeah.
like I talk to clients about, it's just a simple shift in the words that you use. Like when it comes to nutrition versus saying, I can't have those foods, it's I'm choosing not to have those foods because they just don't fit my goals right now. I can have them if I want to, but is that going to get me where I'm trying to be? No, probably not, So just those, and I really do think they make a big difference, just small little tweaks. And then positive affirmations, which is something we talk about. I think those are huge. Like acknowledging where you are and the things that you're doing good. You've accomplished so much. You're very successful. Like you're doing all these things. Acknowledge it and sit in it and be like, yeah, I did this. This is where I am, and be happy about it. Does that mean that you can't have goals and like want to keep working? Of course not. But where you are is a really good spot. So enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen to that for sure. I mean, I feel like, that, I lean heavily on God, and I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be in my life. And yes, it's been a tough journey, but through every step of the way, like I've looked to God and he's got me to where I am. So I'm thankful for that.
I mean, I just finished a podcast actually right before we got on here, and we were talking about failure. That's what this podcast was about failure. And it's taken a long time for me to get to this spot, but I am in a spot where I don't look at failure as why is this happening to me? I'm looking at it as what am I supposed to learn from it? So I've had a lot of failure in my life, and it's very, very hard when you get pushed up against that wall to just not crumble and give in, But I mean, there's days, Tashina, where it's probably 40 times in my head. I just have to keep telling myself, you're supposed to be learning from this. You're supposed to be learning from this. And again, it's just that simple tweak of our mindset. Just look at it a little bit different, And like you, am I exactly where I want to be? No, but I feel like I'm put where I am as been given, or whatever, like you're saying, and that's where you're supposed to be, and this is what you're supposed to be learning right now, and something else is going to come along, and when it does, take from it, and it will keep propelling you to where it is that you want to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this year, as well, a big part of my stress comes from work. And I mean, we've dealt with a lot of pivots within our business. I started out working for an organization within my company that was focused on kidney care. Well, we had some issues where we ended up bringing on home health. And so then now, you were constantly adjusting, and it was like, okay, I've gotten this down. I know what I'm supposed to do. Well, no, pull the rug out from under you. Now you got to do this too. And so now you've got to adjust to this. And then into this year, we found out that side of the business was actually shutting down. And so now I've been moved to another team, but it's actually a good opportunity. But right now I'm experiencing a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, but I know I'll have a job. So that's a good thing. And, just learning how to, trust and be like, okay, this is my journey. This is where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to be patient. I mean, this year I think has taught me a lot about patience with injuries, with work, with everything. And you just kind of have to wait. And sometimes, good things come out of that uncertainty, and you just have to be patient.
Well, I mean, what you're telling me, all I'm looking at is experience. Look at how experienced you are now. Like you're in all these different areas, and you've gotten to learn and get really good at all of them. And so now look at how much experience you have that you can pile into whatever it is, that the job brings at you, versus somebody that's stuck in the same thing over and over again. And they can get really good at it. But I think versatility and being able to have a vast amount of like knowledge in different areas is what's going to help you propel. So, I mean, I think it's only to your benefit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've gotten a lot of experience and learned from a lot of people, which is good. I've made a lot of contacts. I think like one of the things that I've been trying to do is not be so negative and not focus on, kind of situations as far as, oh, this is so terrible, but think about it, reframing it to the positive and being like, but yeah, look at how much I've learned. Look at how many contacts I've made. So, I mean, I think in life, that's kind of what everybody needs to do. And in order to be successful on your health and wellness journey, like, you're going to have times, like I had times where, it started out slow. Like, I haven't lost a huge ton of weight, but I look different. Like I look different, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, who is this person? Like, because I've built so much strength and I've toned. And honestly, at the end of the day, I'd rather be strong and have muscle than be like, 100 pounds and be super skinny. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that by any means, but I just know what works for me. And, I know that it makes me feel better.
Agree 100%. All right. So let's bring this guy to a close. What would be like the one nugget of information you would give to somebody that's just starting out on their health, or maybe not starting out, but in a position where they're ready to learn like how to lose weight once and for all, and not do a crash diet, not do a fad diet, like kind of in your position, like you knew like things had to change. What is the one piece of information or nugget that you would give somebody in that position to help them be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I would say just do it. Find a coach. If you don't have a spouse or someone that you count on for accountability, I know for me, I just really wanted the accountability. I needed someone to guide me who has that experience. Find that person, start working with them. But also be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. It may not happen, instantly, but just keep working at it and don't give up on yourself. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life, don't give up on yourself. Just work really hard. Find someone you can trust. Find that accountability partner, someone with the knowledge to help you do weight loss right, and just do it. I think that would be the number one thing I would say is just do it and be kind to yourself and patient.
I love that. Don't give up. I love that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Tashina, for joining me today. I appreciate it. You guys can find all of my information at CynthiaWilliamsWellness.com. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these great videos. Also, lots of other videos, educational videos about health, all kinds of good stuff on there. But I appreciate all of you for joining in today. Thanks.
Thank you.